Nothing intelligent to say. Plus, y'all are probably wanting to get home, but I'm just appreciative to be a part of that thing. It was special for both sides. There's a lot of plays you can analyze if you want to, but they all make up one crazy game. And probably both teams could have had 6 or 7 players at this table, but I think it's fitting the 2 guys that were selected for whatever reason to be up here. The guy to the left obviously was incredible on the mound, but the presence was more incredible than anything. I mean, he hasn't been starting, so I think he ended up at about 100 pitches, and I tried to take him out, but he gave me the Heisman. So I went back to the dugout, and then at one point in the dugout, he's got Austin Jasloff, who had a big play for us, massaging his arm, and I'd never seen that before. But it was, I want to do this for the team. I want this for the team, and obviously laid it on the line and, picked up to his buddy Doe, and then Halvey took the ball from him and did what he did. And then the guy to the right of me, it wasn't, he comes in, it's his first year in our program despite knowing the kid, and it was not a pretty fall. It just wasn't. It was a tough one. And, our team has kind of moved forward and formed its own personality. We've come together, and that's kind of mirrored his kind of, time at our place. It's just been awesome to see him kind of start to shine through with his personality and get more comfortable. And as he's done that, he's become a better player, but the hell with that. It's just more fun to come to work and be around with him. So, again, I'm appreciative for being a part of the game, but I'm pretty appreciative to be around the kids I get to be around.
We'll start in the front here on the left, and we'll come back here, and then the right, and then back up here.
Tony, how rewarding is winning a game like that when your team shows the mental fortitude that they did, especially given that earlier in the season that might have been lacking?
Yeah, no, I think, again, it shows progress. And that's what you want. It's tough. Spoke with my dad, and I don't know what he did, but all the teams he coached in different sports, they always seem to peak at the end of the year, and there's no recipe for that. And, you might play your best stat sheet game somewhere in the middle of the year, but really if you could map it out, and both teams that played in that game, Clemson and ourselves, I've heard the announcers, compare the both of us as teams that didn't start out great, had to kind of find out who plays this position, who goes where, and it just makes it more rewarding at the end. And to me, it would have been rewarding. It sounds crazy, but man, I don't know what they had to say, but how you can't be upset with your effort, either team. So my words to the team would have been the same, win or lose after that thing.
Top of the ninth inning, when Grice is 1 pitch away from a complete game, what do you see from Christian that allowed him to get on base and then kind of passing the baton to play? What do you see him taking so much away?
Yeah, it won't be a great answer, but to me, that guy did the same as our pitchers. I mean, he was past, and I don't want to speak for him. I don't think you say he's past E, but there was a lot that went into the buildup to that of, battling, and obviously he had a lot of strikeouts. I don't know how many, but he always has a lot of strikeouts when he pitches. But it was reminiscent of some other lineups we've had. Yeah, double-digit strikeouts. Our guys made sure that they had competitive at-bats, and eventually we were saying in the dugout we're going to get to this guy. And, again, not many have. And then that sets a table for Zane to be in a position, to do what he did. And if I'm not mistaken, it's been a long night. 2 strikes. And he's been known to take a hack. And it was just a good, short, straight to the ball and fight. I think it was 0-2. He gets it back to 2-2. And he and I have had a conversation before. I'm not taking any credit, but sometimes as a hitter, when you miss your pitch or you don't get to, take your A-hack, you have to reset. And he did that and got himself in a position to be in that count, and then just a good short punch. And he's hit a lot of them over the fence. And Coach Elander joke all fall long because he hit a bunch in the fall that he's glad he's doing it wearing our color orange, because like I said, he's done it often.
Tony, how many times did you think about taking Chase out? And what was it like? There was a moment, maybe that strikeout with bases loaded where he basically said,
Yeah, to be honest with you, we had a conversation before the game. I was just kind of waiting for, it was his game. It was going to be the combination of 2 guys that are first rounders and are going to have lengthy careers in the big leagues, not just because of their stuff, but how they go about their business. So that was what we, thought of as our best punch. And we were going to start Halvey later in the deal if we needed to. So we obviously didn't fall off with his stuff, but just expected him to come to me. And when he did, he said to get Halvey hot, and then he said again, but I can get the team a few more outs. And again, Halvey was pretty sharp, but to me, the difference might have been in the entire game, just those extra outs when we were wanting to take him out, and then a couple extra too, like you said, when he refused to leave the game.
So back here.
Zane, a couple hits in front of you, kind of set the table in your at-bats, down 2 strikes and all that. What did you see? What were you waiting on, and ultimately what did you find the pitch that you liked and was able to put us one up?
So I was just trying to battle and just keep the game alive. And luckily I got a fastball I could handle. And I'd swung through 2 fastballs already. And so I kind of already knew what it looked like. And he gave me one over the plate. So just put a good swing on it.
Stay on the right here in the front, and then back over here.
Chase, was tonight your first successful stiff arm with Tony when he was making a change, and maybe you just walk us through that 10th inning?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that to a coach before, but it was a big opportunity, and I thought I could go back out there. I knew my body the best, so when I saw him come out, I just waved him off. Yeah.
And then what about that 10th inning?
I don't even know if I remember what happened, to be honest.
I think we had bases loaded, punch out, and then a double play. I mean, you make the decision to play the guys back, and that comes from Coach A. And those 2 guys turned a hell of a double play. It was hard workers working hard for a hard worker,
Let's go here in front, and then to you, and then back here.
Tony, how do you go about managing a game like this when you got even pay at first, the threat to double play, the bunts and hits? How do you juggle around in the bullpen in a game like this?
Yeah, again, I mentioned my dad, and he told me the first thing he said, I thought congrats was coming, and he said I would have done a lot of things differently. And I said the same thing. I mean, once the game's over, I think both sides would be wasting their time saying this pitch or this play. At no point in that game was there a lack of effort. And when you got young guys out there, there's going to be some goofy things happen, some good things and some bad things. But a lot of that stuff is kind of talked about. We had several different meetings the last 2 days, just kind of trying to envision scenarios. And again, we're towards the end of the year, and we had to go through a process we didn't have to go through on certain occasions with our teams in the past, where we had to kind of figure out who can do what and who can't. And we trust all these guys. There's some guys that haven't pitched yet, and some guys that haven't swung the bat. And obviously, we trust our 2 catchers. You talk about managing the game. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least bring it up. Check the resume, man. I joked with. I'm talking about Frank. I joked with Kyle Peterson the other day because ESPN came to talk to a few people, and I said, talk to him. He's the one that gets it done. And again, the resume is pretty strong. And to have to sit there and call pitches throughout that game, I know Burnsy was calling his own game at times. For that length has got to be stressful as all get out for both sides.
All right, so we've got, how many more questions? You got 3. These will be the final 3 questions. We'll start here.
Tony, is that the best defensive game y'all have had this season?
I don't know. I'll take it if you're going to call it out like that. I know these guys punched a lot of guys out too, and the guy to the right of me made a couple really nice plays coming in and getting the ball. And, double plays have been at a premium for us. It's not like we don't we got 2 pretty athletic guys in the middle of the field. Maybe this will start a little trend for those 2 guys.
So here in front.
What did you see from Halverson? What allowed him to be successful? How rewarding was it for you to see him have that moment given his injury history and kind of everything he's been through?
That occurred earlier in the year. I mean, him and Joyce, the way they kind of battled back, and obviously, Joyce, man, had a little bit of a setback, but Halvey's just kind of continually gotten better and better as he's gone. And, I'll say this, he's so fiery. I joked about Christian Moore last night. Halvey, same way. He's so fiery that at times it kind of goes to, like, maybe it's my fault, follow the leader. Sometimes the energy goes in the wrong directions. But, again, tonight, and Clemson did the same thing, but our guys were so keyed in on helping each other and picking each other up. There were some painful moments on offense, but guys were quick to pick each other up, or the pitchers went back out there and got it done even though we squandered an opportunity to score. So you got the best version of some of our guys, including Halvey, when they're just focused on competing and getting the job done for their mates.
All right, final question back here.
Coach Trevor Grossi, Tigers.com. Obviously, you played in front of some really big crowds like this one, playing in the SEC. How did that prepare you for tonight? And also having this crowd compared to those? And second part of that question, just being able to snap a 17-game win streak in the manner in which you did down to your final strike, does that make this even more special?
Yeah, I'll answer the second question after the first one. At Hoover, there's pain in the air for the Vols, Vol fans included, that make the trip. Our tournament's unique. You get a one and done. But the comment I made to a few of you guys that were there was the league prepares you, and so does the ACC. But the crowds we had to play in front of, I shouldn't say it because now I'll hear something new tomorrow, but I've kind of heard about everything myself, and I don't know if these guys agree with that. So it's right on par. It's right on par. I mean, we feel great about our league and all sports, and you stick your chest out, but it's the same deal, man. And there's a long list of tradition here. I mean, Coach Leggett being in the dugout, so it was about the same. And you guys barely said anything. You got anything to throw out before I answer the last question? They're probably hungry and thirsty. You good?
Good.
He speaks softly. Yeah, but no, I mean, baseball is a game of percentages, and maybe we got lucky because of that, because they've had a long streak. But again, I think you got the class you did because regardless of how the last few games have gone, you got two teams that are playing for each other and continually getting better.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Student